It's 7 o'clock. We'd like to call the meeting to order. I'd like to say that Ivo is not here this evening, and Carl Devo just called me that he just finished his shift and he'd like to come late. He will come later if he can, before adopting the agenda. I know it's not practical to put any add-ons on the council meeting because there are things that came in late. So I propose that a couple of changes, if you all agree. At 8.3 we have a letter from Honorable Stephen McNeil. And 12.10, réseau of French-speaking people. And under the closed session we will have rural internet. So if you all agree with this, there is a motion would be in order, proposed by Hector, proposed by Hill. All those in favor indicate by saying yes. Against, motion carried. Are there any items on the agenda that would put you in a conflict of interest situation? If no, we go to 3.1 presentation of badges and service award for volunteer fire departments. So I will go ahead, and I think Councillor Dusa will read the names.
Daniel Kiley on his appointment as Fire Chief of the Salmon River Fire Department. So you can come up front. The Council for the Municipality of Clare would like to congratulate Justin James on his appointment as Deputy Chief of the Salmon River Fire Department. The Council for the Municipality of Clare would like to congratulate Wayne Como on his appointment as Deputy Chief of the Little Brook Fire Department. The Council of the Municipality of Clare would like to recognize Eldon White of the Richfield Fire Department for his 15 years of service in the municipality.
In the regular order, I'd just like to thank the firemen who are here, and thank you for the work that's been going on these last few weeks with the fire study and all the CFFA meetings. It's really appreciated that council and the departments have been working so closely together to try to come up with a solution to our much needed fire equipment. So thank you for that, and thank you for your service as well.
Then we go on to 4, adoption of minutes. 4.1 is March 20th at the regular council meeting. Are there errors or omissions? Moved by Danny, seconded by Councillor Thibault. All those in favor indicate by saying yes. Against, motion carried. 4.2, April 3rd, 2019. Council and committee meeting. Are there omissions or errors? proposed by Councillor Thibault, seconded by Councillor Hill. All those in favour indicate by saying yes. Against? Motion carried. 4.3, April 8th, there was a special session of council. Are there errors or omissions in these minutes? Proposed by Councillor Potier, seconded by Councillor Thibault. All those in favour indicate by saying yes. Against? Motion carried. 5, business arising from previous council meetings. We have nothing for that item this evening. 6, Warden's activity report. I have a long list. I didn't put everything on, but I indicate the most important things, so I will go through it fast. On March 21st, I went to a session, participation of citizens. It's a project that the municipality has funded. March 22nd, there was a multicultural organization at Université Saint-Anne. On the 27th of March, I went to a meeting of the Saint-Anne's Council. There was, on the 26th, there was Mainland Telecom with Ms. CEO Cyr to discuss the internet project. 29th of March of 5 to 7, organized by Société Acadienne at the Clare Golf Club. March 30th, there's a banquet for members of the firemen, and at the tree there was a meeting of the CDNE at the university. And on April 3rd, I went to a meeting with the directors of UNSM here at the municipal office. I know some of the councillors who were also here at that meeting. On April 4th, I went to an event on inclusive workforce organized by Atelier Clare with CORD and Nova Scotia at Work and the province of Nova Scotia. Councillor Como was there. And on April 4th, there was a meeting, Clare Firefighters Association and seminar. And April 5th, there was a meeting of the Southwestern Regional Meeting of the NSM. And on April 11th, banquet for volunteers at the Clare Center. And also on the 15th April, there was a public meeting for fire study meeting and terrace for new. This is quite a fast report with not too many. If you have any questions, then we go to 7 official presentations from members of council. Are there any here? Councillor Thibault. I would like to thank Mariette Bezinski, who was on the Western Regional Health Council for 6 years. It would be good if council would send her a thank you letter for her work. Do you all agree with this letter? Are there other presentations by members? Then we go correspondence. 8.1, a letter from Paul Lombard, who's the manager of Transport de Clare.
This year marks our 23rd anniversary, and we are honored to still be able to offer much-needed service to the Clare community. In the 2017-18 fiscal year, the Transport de Clare Society drove over 520,000 kilometers and transported more than 40,500 passengers. For 2019, we are looking at driving approximately the same kilometers, but our ridership will have increased by 5,000 passengers. Most of our clients deal with financial challenges, disabilities, or health issues, and have no access to other means of transportation. We are happy to say that we have been able to assist with most of the transportation requests we have received. Thanks to the private and corporate donations, our annual golf tournament fundraiser, and our 50-50 draw, we have been able to subsidize the trips for passengers who cannot afford the full fare. We get an average of 5 new customers per month, consisting of people between the age of 19 and 100. Medical trips are still our main priority, and we are increasingly aware of the impact our service has on improving the well-being and mental health of our clientele. Depression among seniors, persons with disabilities, and people affected by poverty is a huge health concern. We do not only provide our clients with a ride to their appointments, but also offer an opportunity for them to get out of the house, enjoy conversation, friendship, and compassion. This is why when we bring people to their appointment, we also offer them the choice of 3 extra stops to run errands afterwards. For many clients, this is their only opportunity to get out. In adding these extra stops, we hope to give them an opportunity for social interaction with their community and help brighten their day. In addition to the door-to-door services we also offer charter services. Charter services are extremely important to the well-being of our community. We have 10 commercial vehicles in our fleet, plus one that is donated through a lease to us annually, totaling 11, along with access to 5 volunteer cars. We are asking for an increase in our funding from $23,000 to $28,000. We had a business plan and feasibility study done for the organization, and we are planning to create a plan on how to implement the suggested actions to ensure we continue to grow and help as many people as we can. There are many reasons for requesting more funding. In the last year, we have seen considerable growth in Clare, and it continues to be where the majority of our business is conducted. The amount of trips going to the Clare Health Centre is increasing every day, and the number of medical trips towards Kentville, Yarmouth, and Halifax are becoming weekly occurrences. This makes the need for subsidized trips in the Clare area to increase as well every day or week. A trip from Salmon River to the Clare Health Centre is 72 kilometers round trip. Our basic rate is $20 for this trip. In reality, this trip costs us $64.80. A trip from Billiwisco to the Clare Health Centre is 82 kilometers round trip. Our basic rate is $20 for this trip. In reality, it costs us $73.80. And another challenge that we are consistently having to address is social services refusing to pay for medical trips, which leaves us subsidizing 100% of those medical trips. We feel that our basic rates are at the high end for many of our clients at this time, but in order to continue serving everyone equally, more financial resources are needed. This situation does not apply only to the Clare area. We are experiencing the same problem in the Digby municipality as well. Also, it is important to note that volunteer drivers are getting harder to reach out to and are always on the lookout for more. The Board of Directors and I are fully committed to the Transport de Clare Society and will do our best to uphold and increase all the services we offer to the citizens of Clare. If you have any suggestions for how we can improve our services to our community, please let us know. Please do not hesitate to contact me with any questions or concerns you may have. We are available and willing to provide a presentation to the Council if needed. We look forward to growing our partnership with the municipality of Clare to provide safe, affordable, accessible transportation to the residents of all of Digby County. Thank you all very much for your continued support. Pearl Theriault, President, Paul Lombard, Manager.
So as you know, we went through the budget draft at the special council meeting, and that approves the amount for the transport, and we had at that time given an increase of $2,000, which brings it to $25,000. So if the budget passes as it is, it'll be an increase of $2,000. So we don't need a decision unless someone changes their mind, but in the time of the budget. 8.2 letter, Tracy Tuwil, Deputy Minister, Communities, Culture and Heritage.
Letter of February 28th, 2019, with your feedback regarding the proposed new library funding formula. I have noted your concern about the lack of municipal representation in the development of the new funding model. You raised an important point about the significant capital investment your municipality contributes, in addition to the required remittance under the Nova Scotia Libraries Act, to enhance library services in your area. And I appreciate your concern about the added pressure that an increase to your municipal contribution to libraries would have on your municipality with the implementation of a new funding model. I assure you that before any final decisions are made on a new library funding formula, the department will be carefully reviewing the valuable feedback received from the municipalities. As well, since the amount required in the proposed funding model will be an increase to current amounts required in the Libraries Act funding regulations, a one-year notice is required for municipalities by April 1st, as per the Municipal Government Act. Therefore, a new funding model would not take effect until 2020-2021. I recognize that this is a complex issue and appreciate your input into the process, as well as your diligence in ensuring that the libraries you represent obtain the best funding scenario possible. Sincerely, Tracy Tawil, Deputy Minister.
Are there any questions, comments? I know that was one of the topics that was discussed at the regional meeting at the NSFM, so they're looking not only at the increases, but at the way that it was done, but maybe without enough consultation with the municipalities, so they're working on it presently. Next, we'll go to 8.3, letter from Honorable Stephen McNeil.
Gordon LeBlanc, thank you for your letter requesting that the province make the completion of the remaining portion of the uncontrolled access highway from Digby to Weymouth one of our government's top priorities. As you note in your letter, the construction of the section from Digby to Weymouth is currently under construction, with cost sharing from the federal government under the New Build Canada Fund, along with several other highway projects that have been recently announced. Staff are working on the planning required to advance the next section of the project, and this project will be considered along with other major projects as additional funding becomes available. However, it is not possible to put a timeline on when this work will occur. I recognize the work of the completion of the Highway 101 between Digby and Weymouth Task Force and appreciate that there's a lot of support for this project in your area. Thank you again for your letter and support of this important project. Sincerely, the Honourable Stephen McNeil, Premier.
Are there questions or comments? Councillor Camo? So more or less, he's saying that it's a top priority, but it'll only be worked on when funding is available. Under Building Canada Fund. The section of the road from Digby to Marshalltown that's being constructed currently, that comes partly from Building Canada Fund. He doesn't specify a certain fund. I think they're just waiting for funding to be available, and then it'll be considered among other projects when it is available. But there isn't a precise date for the start of the construction work. Are there any questions or comments? If not, we'll go to 9, presentation of the municipal budget 2019-2020 and corresponding motions. Jeanette, if you want to present the budget. So you all have a copy of the budget in front of you. The budget that we are presenting tonight has a total revenue of $9,417,735 and expenses of the same amount to have a balanced budget. On page 2, we have how our tax revenues have been calculated, keeping the tax at the same rate of $1 for $100 of assessment and 2.7 for commercial. We're looking at additional revenues because our assessment went up this year. We also have the 5 cents area rate for the firefighters, and we have a 6 cent for every $100 additional that we propose for that to buy fire trucks. Are there questions, comments? On page 3, we see the total of taxes at $7,466,882. Other revenues that are more or less determined by the province of $50,123. There's the deed transfer tax, the sewers, the lights, the roadside lights that give us approximately $264,720. the grant in lieu of taxes, give us 157 and 179.
Are there any questions on this part? On page 4, we estimate that we will receive tipping fees and white goods for the transfer is $321,636. Other revenues from other sources and building permits around 30,000. For fines with RCMP about 300,000. Clare Health Center 229,615. This amount has gone down since last year. The Cultural Center, Cultural Hub, there are 12,000 for the Medical Center, $84,014. Clare Veterans Center rentals, we estimate we will receive a maximum of $17,000. This 17,000. Eco Park rent 25,200. Interest, return on interest will be about 36,000. Penalties and interest on taxes will be 85,000. Other small amounts will give a total of 571,879. As far as community development is concerned, we think we have a revenue of 227,230, including 154,000 for the Grand Fondo. Are there any questions on this page? On page 5, equalization grant of the province will be $243,087. We expect to have a grant from the province because we are serving the population in French at approximately $135,000 from the province for bilingualism. Are there any questions or comments? The other night there was a question about the amount of taxes that would be for the university. On page 3, if you look at the last page, supporting institution Université Saint-Anne, there was amount given us by the province. We have no influence on this amount. Just the amount of 75,000. There's a question posed regarding this. 75,558. It's far from being against the evaluation of the university, but the schools are not taxable. So if we go now on page 6, unless there are other questions on the revenues. On page 6, if you look, low income exemption and appeal, we estimated very hard at 225,000 because I would give you a comparison with last year. Last year, the appeals, we had 73 appeals for an assessment, an evaluation of properties of 7 million, over 17 million. This year we received 131 for a total of 17 million. So it's 10 million more of evaluation that we received, and in that we have a lot of commercial properties. It's that we know there will be big changes, so it can account for a loss of 225,000 this year. Are there any questions on this item or clarifications needed? If we go on the expenses of council and salaries, we have 194,228. For conferences, we have an expense of 30,000. On administration, the salaries were 397,817, plus expenses related to the work. Then simultaneous translation is estimated at 24,000. For documents translation, 19,500. We're lining to see where there are big changes. If you see any, you can indicate to me. Tax sale expense, we brought it up by 7,500 because the revenue and the expense is equal on this under this item. This evaluation services with PDFC. There was an increase of 1.2%, 1.253%. Grants to organization is at 40,000. I think the warden might have something to say here. Every year we ask organizations to give applications for grants to organizations, and council decides which request. I will go towards the explain. There's the committee of the small chapel at the Historical Society of Clare, $897, and then we have the Voix d'Alva choral group, $2,000. There's a music stand, sheet music. Clare Race to Trace Association, $3,000 to help them to maintain the trail. Clare Golf and Country Club, $3,750 for equipment in the kitchen. Bay Sainte Marie Animal Society, $2,495 to replace. Clare Shooting Association, $2,500 to help with work on the site. Cord, we approved $900 for kitchen equipment. Far Out Festival, $1,940 for fencing and first aid. The Commission Development of Le Moulin, Bangor, $780 for work being done on the washrooms for a total amount of $17,269. These are the grants for this year. And if we go, the last thing on this page will be the internet project, which will be $20,642. Any comments on this page 6? On page 7, we have increases in many items on the protection services, like the RCMP. Everything that's related to the RCMP and prosecution services, we don't have any influence on these expenses. One question for the RCMP, that's the number we got, or an estimate. We only received anything from the RCMP right now, so we took the same increase as last year, which was 1.3%, and we will add it to the amount that's given here.
When the time comes for the fair department, there's a 2.2% increase for dispatch, for operations. So you'll see it's lower than what we spent last year, but it's 260,956 plus what we have from shared services for $14,000, because this year's shared services will be higher than last year. Next, we have 5,000 for training, member appreciation, another 5,000. We put 5,000 for assessment. That still has to do with the study that was done for the firefighters' equipment. There's $123,293. That's collected from the 5 cents that is given back to the firefighters to purchase little things like suits, things like that they might need. And 250,000, which is a 6 cents additional from the taxes, that will go directly for the purchase of a fire truck. We estimate 100,000 on the against the loan, the principal on municipal capital loan from the firefighters, and the interests are on another loan that they have. So for the firefighters, there's a total of $897,355 from our budget. EMO, there's a total of 10,000. We brought it down a bit because we always try to reflect the expenses. Search and rescue is at 5,000. Signage 5,500, and 900 is at we budgeted 1,000. When the time comes for the building inspections and development officer, we have a total of $176,991. That includes salaries, conventions, trainings, everything, and the expenses for the trucks. Security for seniors, we have a budget of $37,869 that we budgeted to send. So the total for protective services is $2,413,653. Are there questions or comments? On page 8, for the transportation, as was mentioned earlier, Transport de Clare, 25,000. We budgeted small amounts for sidewalks, $500. The cleaning of the sidewalks will be $43,911. And streetlights also we collected in tax, but we spent it too. It's an in and out, $22,700. And for the cleanup program, we put 10,000. So the total for transportation services is $102,111. Are there questions or comments? Okay. Page 9. It's the we have the sewer systems, I should say. So everything that has to do with wages, trucks, the garage that we have in Belgos Cove, and all the snow removal, that goes to $116,897. So that's in the parking lots that we have, for example, at here at the municipal office and at the medical center. Metagan, there's a total of $35,300. For Church Point, a total of $18,150. For Billybo Cove, $17,950, and $8,624 in insurance, for a total of $196,921. Comments or questions? Page 10. It's everything that has to do with the transfer station. The amounts for garbage and waste collection, it depends on the contract that we have, so it'll be at $460,471. There have been a lot of increases on the recycling. What we pay for our blue bags, for all the garbage that we bring out, there have been some increases. So the total with the salaries and everything, we look at a total of $1,300,769. Questions or comments? On page 11, it's the Clare Health Center. Then we have salaries, office expenses, medical equipment expenses, what we have to pay for the program, for the health program. In total, we have an expense of $446,330. There's $15,000 for budgeted for doctor recruitment, and $35,200 for the low-income seniors housing. I have to ask if that's the number. Do we have a number from the province for that, or that's the amount that we have received from them? No, sorry, that one hasn't been confirmed yet. That one hasn't been confirmed. We went back 5 years and tried to make an average of what it could represent in this year's, according to the increases that have happened in the last 5 years. Usually this number, we only receive it in May or June, so it's essentially, we just do an estimate based on the analysis that Jeanette just mentioned. I'm sorry, I mixed up with seniors and security. Are there other questions or comments on this page? On page 12. It's everything that has to do with development services for the municipality. There's $11,000 budgeted for environmental planning and zoning, bylaws, things like that. The REN, $45,602, which is the same as last year. There's $11,371 for the Wentworth Lake Park and the Bellevue Cove Wharf, for a total of $67,992. Questions? For the members of Public Works, there's no work that needs to be done at Wentworth. That's good. On page 13, everything that has to do with recreation and culture. So with economic development, tourism, there's an expense. We budgeted $216,091 for recreation. $216.91. Community development, $213,235. For the Grand Fondo, that had a revenue of $154,000. There's also an expense of the same amount. And the same amount, 2024, we put in $60,000 for the budget that we estimated. And if we're lucky, we're going to spend it, if we're lucky enough to have the Congress. For the library, the cultural hub, the Havelock Community Center, Matagan Park, ground search and rescue, all the other things that we could have that have buildings, we're looking at $208,283. For our cultural services, there's $823 for the Historical Society, $20,000 contribution to the Festival Acadien, Production Le Moulin, $1,000. The new France Electric City project, $5,000. The Société Sainte-Marie-de-la-Pointe building, $10,000. The Centre Acadien, Stuart, Nova Scotia, $7,897. For the Grand Fondo, $15,000, which $5,000 invested in reserve if necessary. Université Sainte-Anne for a project, $25,000. Yarmouth Hospital, $5,000. In total, $30,000.
1,447,244 total. for recreation and cultural services. Are there any questions or comments? On the next page is for schools. This is an estimate that is given to us by the province, and this year it will be 1,785,321 for schools. Are there any questions or comments on this page? And this is it for the presentation of my budget. Are there any other questions, comments? We have already gone through the budget at the special meeting, so everything has been worked, so there are no big surprises since our last meeting. But that being said, when the budget will be passed, it will be available for the public when it is approved, so anybody who wants to see the details, this information is available to them. So now we will go to the motions that pertain to the budget. The first will be a motion to adopt municipal tax rate. Is there somebody who wants to do motion?
2019-2020 municipal tax rates for the municipality of the District of Clare be set as follows. $1.04 per $100 of assessment as the residential and resource tax rate, the same rate as since 2014. $2.07 per $100 of assessment as the commercial tax rate, the same rate since 2010, and 25 cents per acre below 50,000 acres, and 40 cents per acre above 50,000 acres as the forest acreage rates.
Quelqu'un qui va appuyer ça?
Somebody can approve this, seconded by Deputy Doucet. Are there any discussion on this motion? All those in favor indicate by saying yes. Against, motion carried. So we go to 9.2, motion to adopt sewer service charges. Is there somebody want to do motion? Councillor Comeau? I move that the municipal sewer service charges for 2019-2020 be set at $200 per unit for the following: Metegan Center, Metegan River, Church Point, and Bellevos Cove. I think now it will be, all the communities will be equal. Seconded by Councillor Thibault. Is there any discussion on this motion? All those in favor indicate by saying yes. Against? Motion carried. 9.3, motion to adopt streetlights area rates. Does somebody want to make this motion? Councillor Potier? I move that the 2019-2020 rates for streetlights be set as follows: Highway Runt and Patrice Road, Church Point, $49.88. Highway 1, Little Brook and Comoville, $30.92. Highway 1, Soniaville, $44.28. Highway 1, Metegan River, $46.79. Placid Como Road, Metegan River, $59.26. Highway 1 and Peter Digo Road, Metegan, $30.47. John Thibault Road, Metegan Center, $823.40. There's one user. And Highway 1, Sebernor and Bellevos Cove, $16.55. It's applied by Deputy Warden Doucet. These are all prices, is the cost for all of those divided by the number of users. We see that in Sebernor it is the lowest one because there are a lot of people using this, and every one of these amounts has been reduced a bit this year compared to last year. Are there any other discussions on this motion? All those in favor indicate by saying yes. 92, Motion to adopt fire department rates. Is there somebody who wants to make this motion? Councillor Thibault. I move that the 2019-2020 fire department rates be set as follows. Fire protection, 5 cents per $100 of assessment. Fire truck purchase, 6 cents per $100 of assessment. Somebody wants to second this? Seconded by Deputy Warden Dussel. Those in favor? Yes, and motion carried. 9.5 motion to adopt there's no motion to adopt the council write-offs for churches and they don't pay any tax. We don't need a motion every year because once a motion is made, it's okay until we change the this ruling. So if we'll remove 9.5 motion to adopt the council write-offs. 9.6 motion to adopt the due date and interest rate for the commencement date.
Due date for the payment of 2019-2020 municipal taxes be June 30th, 2019, and the interest rate be 1.5% per month, beginning July 1st, 2019.
Somebody second this motion? Seconded by Conseil Campbell. All those in favor indicate by saying yes. Against, motion carried. And finally, for the budget, we need a motion to adopt municipal budget 2019-2020. Is there somebody who wants to do this? Councillor Comeau. I move that the 2019-2020 municipal budget for the municipality of the District of Clare be approved as presented on Wednesday, April 17, 2019. Seconded by Conseiller Potier. Is there any discussion on this? Is there, all those in favor indicate by saying yes. Motion carried. I'd like to thank Stefan and all those who have worked on this subject, and the fact that it's done in April last year and this year it's just a month earlier than other years. So we had 2 or 4 meetings to be completed by the end of May. Thank you very much. It's a very good budget. Then we go to Chief Administrative Officer's report of the meeting is mostly on the budget. I kept my report quite short. I will talk about a few, the committee of the Grand Fode today. We had 268 participants, including 75 commentary of the province. Amongst these 268, 107 of them is the first time that they participate in the Grand Fondo. So if we compare to last year, we're ahead by about 24 participants at the same date last year. Our sponsors, we launched our packages. We have amounts to $9,000. The Rod Grand Hotel has been added, one of our hospitality sponsors. Up to now, we have Golf, South Shore Subaru, Timot Serving, and Como Seafoods. Also, our jersey sponsor for the Grand Fondo will be Université Sainte-Anne, so thank you for the sponsors. We have not yet received any news for our hospitality sponsors and medals, and also we will have some publicity that will come out next week. It will be spent over the province. So.
For the Clare Veterans Center, Just an update there, the team is still trying to find estimates for the few items that we discussed at council. A new electric panel, generator, solar panels. This, we plan on having this to present at the council meeting of May 1st. The discussions are going ahead very well. For the Canadian Congress 2024, as you know, there's not a lot since last month. Simply just a reminder that the evaluation committee will be here on April 24th, 5th, and 6th, Thursday and Friday. It's a committee that's made up of 6 members that will be in the area of Clare and Argyle for 2 days. So the agenda will include our detailed presentation of our submission and why we should be chosen as the region for the Congress of 2024. And the decision will be made in May, the final decision. For our finances, on March 31st, 2019, the municipality had revenues of 1,072 against expenses of roughly 8 million for a revenue net of $500,000 roughly. On March 31st, 2019, the municipality had a balance in its operational fund of 819,794. Capital 299,797. And a total in reserve of 4,693,247. So that numbers can be broken down in the following ways. The operational reserve, 447,000 roughly. The reserve for capital projects, 2,985,176. Landfill closure reserve, 323,834. And finally, the gas tax reserve, 9,036,762. We're not expecting to have a lot of variations on these numbers with our expenses especially. There's still a pay period to come out from last year, but with the exception of that and maybe a few small bills that will come in April, all our the big expenses for the 2018-2019 fiscal year have been spent. So for the for our financial position, we're still in good condition. Just a few meetings also that I'd like to talk about. Yesterday we met, Larry Peach, Pim Dusa, and I, with a representative from Development Nova Scotia to make a tour of the area, to show what we have to offer in terms of projects and what we could potentially work on. So we had them visit the park at Kim St. Mary, the park Joseph Marie and Marie Dugan-Billevoscove, and the Saint Bernard Church. We also spoke about other priorities in the municipality, like the Grand Fondo and the rural internet. So all this to say that the goal of the meeting yesterday was to talk about projects, cultural projects, tourist as attractions in the area. It was a really good meeting. It was 3 or 4 hours, and I could see that they were very interested in what they saw based on their comments, and so it's a dialogue that we hope to continue. It could definitely bring us lots of, if we have the Congress for 2024, that'll be, Develop Nova Scotia would be an important partner in the preparations for that event. A few meetings that are coming. As I mentioned, the evaluation committee for the Canadian Congress. I'm meeting Caroline Sloan from Clare and Ulster Sudet at the end of the month, April 30th, to discuss the potential of a collaborative project between the CLA, the university, and us. Will take place on May 3rd, and that's my report. Are there any questions? Questions? No, thank you. Next, we'll go to 11. Committee reports, 11.1, building permits. Councillor Hill.
As of March of 2018, we had 32 permits issued of construction of $2.146 million, $2.148 million, sorry. And March of this year, we had 25 permits issued for $1.89 million for the construction. So it's down a little bit, but as soon as the weather picks up.
That's the question.
Next, we'll go to 11.2, Police Advisory Board, Deputy Warden Nil. The Police Advisory Board met on April 8th with the Sergeant, Daniel Godin. He announced that she's Corporal or Jamie Lutz will move to Yarmouth at the Yarmouth Detachment, and she'll be replaced as early as possible. Next, he gave us a few statistics. I'll try to make a breakdown of what he said. From January 29 to March 2019, March 31st, there was a total of 314 calls that came to the detachment. Break-in enters, there were 4 break-in enters, 3 were charged. Theft, shoplifting, there were 3. Theft from motor vehicles, there were 4. And there was insufficient evidence to proceed. Impaired driving, 11. 5 that were charged. Next, there were statistics from different detachments, Matagan, Queen, Shelburne, Barrington. There's a whole bunch. But in Clare, crimes against persons went down 23%. Property crime went up by 46.6%. And property crimes are theft, if someone takes gas at the gas pump, for example, and doesn't pay. Shoplifting in the shops, there's a lot. Theft from cars, shed break-ins, behind the houses themselves. That's what the property crimes mean. For the rest, domestic dispute occurrences, that went down by 68%, so that's good. Computer crimes, that went up by 1%. The rest total occurrence is 1.7%, better than last year. We discussed different things, other things, but that's pretty much my report. Are there questions? I don't know in the report, does it how we compared with other municipalities? If we're high or low, or we're low, he said, compared to. He always compares us with Barrington because we're pretty much the same in population, but compared to others, we're with crimes and things like that. It's going well. That's good. Are there questions? Other questions? Next, we'll go to 12, new business, 12.1. Motion.
Motion for approve finance. This has already been done, apparently. So we have a motion to recommend. Would somebody make this motion? Councillor Potier. I move that the Council for the Municipality of the District of Clare contribute $5,000 to the Electric City and Nouvelle France Society to aid in the preparation of a business plan feasibility study for a proposed interpretive center. Somebody to, seconded by Councillor Thibault. We had a presentation and we discussed this at Council of Committee. I don't know if there's any other discussion on this motion. All those in favor indicate by saying yes. Against, motion carried. 12.2, Motion to award tender demolition of buildings and structures located at 7578 Highway 1, Meteghan. Thank you. We had that request tenders to destroy certain buildings at the Eco Park that were, for security reasons, had to be demolished. So we had tenders for a total of tenders, and after evaluation of the tenders, they recommended to give the contract to Spec Resources to an amount of $34,870. It was the lowest. The demolition has always started, but for security reasons, because of the protocol, we have to do this motion this evening, even if the work has started. Councillor Thibault. Also for the municipality of the District of Clare, award the tender for the demolition of buildings and structures located at 7587 Highway 1, Meteghan, to Spec Resources, Inc., in the amount of $34,870 plus HST, and that these funds be taken from capital fund. Somebody to approve this motion, seconded by Councillor Hill. Is there any discussion on this motion? All those in favor indicate by saying yes. Against? Motion carried. To 12.3, motion to award tender to replement outfall pipe. This is regarding the installation in Meteghan. There's a project that we had to do some renovations and upgrades to the system. We have finished the project. That there was also need to replace this outfall pump, and there was amount of $24,600. So the province allowed us to, with the approval of council, to add this outfield pump to be included in the renovation. We had already bought the outfall pump pipe, so we discussed this at council, and that we would be authorized to do this, go ahead with the project with the intention of our capital budget, so we can apply this for the installation of this pipe. So we received the tender, closed on April 11th. We had 9 tenders, and the lowest one was against Spec Resource, $1,600 plus HST. So if we include this portion of the HST that we will be reimbursed, the installation total would be a little bit less than $26,000. So this installation will have no impact on our capital budget. This being said, the recommendation of the staff is to give the tender to Spec Resources for the amount of $24,600.
I move that the Council for the Municipality of the District of Clare award the tender for replacing the wastewater treatment plant outfall pipe located at 8425 Highway 1, Meteghan, to Spec Resources Incorporated in the amount of $24,600, and that these funds be taken from the municipality's capital fund.
Is there somebody who's going to second this motion? Seconded by Deputy Warden Doucet. Is there any discussion on this motion? All those in favor indicate by saying yes. Against? Motion. And we go to 12.4, motion to send letter to Tourism Nova Scotia Doers and Dreamers Travel Guide. What happened when Larry Peach, every year they do a tourist guide. So noticed there was an error in the French version. Council had made a motion to recommend that we send a letter to resolve the problem, and the letter had to be sent immediately because the guides were ready to come out. So the letter was written and sent, but we still need an item to make it official. And if we had waited for tonight, it would have been too late, and the guide would have been distributed with the errors. You think they found a way to resolve this problem in the letter between Larry Beach and the provinces? The province has excused themselves for the error, and they accepted to reprint an ad or an insert in the guide in French, and they also more vision on their provincial website. So Larry Peach was quite satisfied with the answer that he received from the province regarding this problem. Is there somebody who has a motion? I move that the Council for the Municipality of the District of Clare write a letter to Tourism Nova Scotia asking them to correct the co-op advertisement for Clare's Bassett Body, which was mistakenly printed in 1919 French edition of the Doers and Dreamers travel guide, Du rêve à l'aventure. Somebody to second this? Seconded by Councillor Potier. All those in favor indicate by saying yes. Against? I would like to thank Amy and how for doing this. It had to be done immediately. The letter was written quickly, and it was sent, and their work has been very much appreciated regarding this matter. Then we go to motion to approve financing Société du Bassett Body de la Pointe. This motion has been added tonight, but really we made a motion at the special meeting of council that this motion has passed, and it is accepted because it was an official meeting, so we don't have to read this one again tonight because it's been done. And 12.6 and 12.6 is also the same thing we mentioned here because we are alive. What is the amount that was given for this project? Yeah. This is a meeting that was made by the members of the committee of the group is working to preservation of this building in Church Point. The renovations was as a monument for the Acadians. As part of the presentation, there was a request for the municipal dollars for a strategy to get funds to allow the members of the society to go to solicit funding by different levels of government to do the work required to make
that the warden of the municipality sit on the board of the society. So the motions that were made at the last council meeting, were to give a contribution of 10,000 to the site, the appointment of the warden as member of the board on of the society. So next we'll go to 12.7, motion to approve financing Centre Acadien, Université Sainte-Anne. Someone going to do the motion? Councillor Camo? I propose that the Council of the Municipality of the District of Clare contribute $7,897 to the Centre Acadien. This project entitled Mise en valeur du patrimoine culturel et historique des Acadiens de la Nouvelle-Écosse. seconded by Councillor Potier. Is there discussion on the motion? That's another that we, council committee, and that the council asked questions, and we discussed it at the special council meeting. So has been a lot of discussion on it already. So I don't know if there's other questions or comments. If you're ready for the question. All in against? Motion carried. 12.8, motion to close Richfield Volunteer Fire Department. Councillor Hill.
I would like to make that we refer 12.8 to another council meeting, because I've been having a lot of conversation with the residents, just for some discussion and clarity on it. So if it would be agreeable by council, I'd like to refer this.
Quelqu'un qui va faire
Is someone going to make the motion? Councillor Potier.
evidence, I think that's the right thing to do, to have an information, have a chance to express themselves, and then we'll add that to the meeting in the month of May. So, n'as-tu d'autres disques?
Y a-t-il d'autres?
Tous en faveur?
All in favor indicate by saying yes. 12.9, motion to approve the 2019-2020 Fire Department operational funding allocations. You want to go through the list, or this is a list a little more detailed than what was presented in the budget, but the numbers that I give you here tonight are essentially in the budget. It's the same as what's in the budget. It's the same formula that we used in the past years. We just make an adjustment to adjust with the cost of living. So the amount of this year is 2.2%, as mentioned by Jeanette earlier tonight. First look higher from 2018 to 19 is that in 2018 to 19, the numbers for the dispatch service were billed to individually to every service. And the contribution from the municipality to the dispatch was part of their operational funding. To try to reduce the volunteers, after discussing with them and the dispatch that the dispatch is now all centralized from Digby, we said instead of billing 8 departments, let's just send one bill to the municipality for all 8, and then we can reduce the appropriate amount based on what was billed. So it's not more or less money for the municipality, for the departments. It's just to reduce the administrative burden for the departments. So if you look at the budget, you'll see that there was it's essentially to reflect the centralized dispatched. So that being said, even if it's mentioned in the budget, we need a motion to approve the contributions, the operational allocations for the fiscal year 2019-2020. Does someone want to make the motion? Councillor Hill?
I move that the council for the municipality of the District of Clare recommend approving the proposed 2019-2020 Fire Department operational funding allocations, conditional upon review of the statements.
Quelqu'un qui...
Councillor Comeau, seconded by Councillor Comeau. Is there discussion on the motion? All in favor indicate by saying yes. Contrary? Motion carried. I had added a network for Francophone and Francophile cities. As you know, we're a member of this network, and we have been to some. Last year it was in Grand Prairie, but no one from Nova Scotia went. In Moncton during the Canadian Congress, and the annual meeting from the network will be on Acadie. So I was wondering, I guess I wanted to know if the council wanted to give me the opportunity to go to. You just made the motion, okay, and Hector, okay. Is there discussion on the motion? I think one of the reasons also why I'd like to go is that it's part of the Congress for Us is the cities. I would like for the meeting to come to Clare or Argyle if we're lucky enough to have it. So that means that people from everywhere in North America would come. People come from Louisiana, Caribbean, all over, so it would be a lot of people that would come into the center. All in favor indicate by saying yes. Against? Motion carried. 13, closed session. For the people on there, we have only one item, and it's rural internet. So that being said, we need a motion. Moved by seconded by Councillor Potier. All in favor indicate by saying yes. Against? Motion carried. Good night.